So the Spanish have established colonies in the New World, and now they want to look and see what else is out there. How else can we utilize this new land? So they sent out and started further Spanish exploration. So we're going to start with Juan Ponce de Leon. Juan had a pretty impressive background. He was on the second voyage that Columbus took after his first successful voyage in discovering this new land. He was a soldier. There was an uprising in Hispaniola. Remember, we said Hispaniola is modern-day Dominican Republic and Haiti. The natives had an uprising. He tapped that down. He made sure that the Spanish were safe there. And because of that, he was named governor. Now, in modern democratic society that we live here in the United States, if you want to be the governor, you run for office, and if you get enough votes, you can be the governor. That's not how the Spanish worked it. If the king favored you, if you did something he liked, you'd be named governor. There are lots of governors. So now Juan Ponce de Leon is the governor of Hispaniola. He had heard rumors that in Puerto Rico there was gold. So he, in 1508, took the voyage to Puerto Rico from Hispaniola, discovered lots and lots of gold. The king was very pleased with him. Then in another Caribbean island, Bimini, he heard that there was this magical, miraculous water. This water would keep you young if you bathed in it, if you drank it. It just had all these healing properties. Well, it sounded like a good idea. So he set sail for Bimini and thought he had landed there. He had landed on the mainland North America in Florida. He explored Florida, continuing to look for this miraculous water. Some people in history have called that the Fountain of Youth. Didn't find it, but found this beautiful land. He christened it Florida, and basically translated from Spanish, that means lots of vegetation, lots of flowers. Got there about Easter time, so it was just beautiful. Spoke to the king about it, said, I found this great land, lots of resources. The king told him to go ahead and settle it. And at this time, the king has now made him governor of Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, and what he thinks is Bimini, but it's really Florida. So anyways, he goes to settle the land in 1521, is struck by an arrow by a Native American, and dies. But because of Juan Ponce de Leon, now the Spanish have set up camp in Florida. Now try this name on for size. Alvar Nunez Cabaza de Vaca. That's quite a mouthful. Alvar Nunez Cabaza de Vaca went on an expedition to Tampa Bay in Florida in 1528. So now we're about 7 years after Juan Ponce de Leon has introduced Florida to the Spanish world, and we're continuing to explore it. Cabaza de Vaca was named governor of Texas. He explored all over Texas. So we've added another area into the Spanish colonization of the New World. And Cibola, the 7 cities of gold. There was this rumor out there that there was this magical place, 7 cities just teeming with gold. And Cabaza de Vaca was one of the first Spanish explorers to go search for this. Unfortunately, he didn't find it. Well, let's fast forward a little bit, about 10 years later, and now we have Francisco Vázquez de Coronado. He's also going to look for Cibola. So he takes with him 300 Spanish soldiers, 1,000 natives, and they trek out. They go west of Texas to see if they can find Cibola, because Cabaza de Vaca didn't have any success where he looked. So they make it to about New Mexico. They have a run-in with the Zuni Native Americans there. Because there are so many men, De Coronado needs supplies. He basically kicks the Zunis out of their home, takes their food supplies, takes what they have, and takes over their village. He decides it's really tough. We haven't been able to find these 7 cities of gold. So he sends his men out in 4 different directions. They split up, go in 4 different directions. One of the great outcomes that came out of this is his men were the first Europeans to view the Grand Canyon. They discovered that in their wanderings. So they went through Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, New Mexico, never found the 7 cities of gold. Chances are there's no such thing, but they certainly did report back lots of great information to the Spanish king about what they did find, the resources in this new land. We'll end today with Hernando de Soto. Hernando de Soto helped Francisco Pizarro with with the overtaking of the Incan Empire in South America. He became very rich from that. He was paid quite a great sum of gold, went back to Spain, married the daughter of an important Spanish man. Should have been happy, very rich man. Instead, he decides to sell all his belongings so that he can purchase 10 ships, pay 700 men, and he's now going to go back to be an explorer. So for 3 years, 1539 to 1542, De Soto explored Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. Along the way, he fought and enslaved Native Americans. On accident, he made it to Louisiana, discovered the mouth of the Mississippi River. So that's our first European sighting of the mouth of the Mississippi down around New Orleans. He explored the Mississippi up and down it. Unfortunately, in Louisiana, caught a fever and died. So that was the end of Hernando de Soto. So these 4 men, these 4 Spanish men, have really helped the Spanish know what's in this new land, what kind of resources are there, where would be a good place to set up colonies. So we're going to continue on with what happens next.